a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time.
Hey guys, and welcome on into another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends, free NHL picks. I'm Terry, ready to break down today's slate. We are going to do a breakdown of what happened on Tuesday, and then I will give some brief thoughts on a controversial topic, which we'll get to here in a bit, which of course is the Sportsnet video that talked about the whole Ryan Hartman situation. I'll give my thoughts on that after going through what happened on yesterday's slate. So, well, of course, some people are going to agree with me, some people are going to disagree with me, but we'll get there in a bit. Hit the like button, or else you get iced. Yep, you get iced. I hit the like button so hard, I got a 2-minute minor. Uh-oh, that's not good. Hell yeah. Hey, Terry, what's up? Hey, Robert, Terrence, Nicholas, Ice X. All right. I see USA Finland going to overtime in the World Juniors. Nice. It's on. USA for gold. Nope. Sweden and Captain Liam Ogren is who I want to win gold. Finland looking at OT, and Tim doesn't like Nicholas. He might not like me either. But quickly do a quick run through on what happened on Tuesday, starting with this game here. Fortunately, Fantilli didn't get a point. I should have known the Boston Bruins weren't going to allow very many goals, and unfortunately, no point for Fantilli. This game, Rangers' domination against Carolina ended. The Hurricanes with a big 6-1 road win here in this game. No single plays here in this one for me. Stayed off that game. This one, I did have Nashville player props in parlays. Nyquist continues to cash the Preds with a 3-0 win. Calgary against Minnesota. Boldy didn't score. Hartman didn't score. The Wild's offense has disappeared with all the injuries that they are facing right now. Winnipeg Jets money line wasn't looking good to start out with, but they were able to come back and get the win for me, cashing that one. Montreal Dallas, I lean with the over. I should have pulled the trigger because it ended up going over. I had parlay pieces here that won as well. Florida Arizona went with the draw. Glad I didn't take Arizona. Florida with the dominating win here. This one, Islanders in Colorado. Overtime game there with the Avalanche getting the win. Flyers against the Oilers. Draisaitl anytime goal plus 130 was a winner. Towards the end of the game there, Draisaitl continues his goal scoring streak that he's been on. Ottawa, Vancouver, I lean with the over there. Should have pulled the trigger. Canucks stormed out to a 5-0 lead. And of course, that game went over. Of course. Leafs and Kings draw. Leafs with a shutout win. The Kings continue to struggle at home. And Detroit, San Jose. I like Detroit team total, which I had in parlays. But unfortunately, that top line, DeBrincat, Kane, and Larkin were all unable to get a point, which was kind of upsetting. But overall, on single plays, obviously a losing day. I did cash a few parlays, so overall, a winning day. Bring this up here, and I will bring up the video that I'm going to discuss here, which is on Sportsnet here during yesterday's intermission. And they discussed the whole Ryan Hartman situation, starting with the Brendan Dillon situation. And here's my thoughts. So the two guys basically said that Hartman was right on what he did in high-sticking Perfetti, and the two women said he was completely wrong. A lot of people giving Jennifer Botterill a lot of props for what she said in this video. My issue, though, is, in my opinion, all four of them are incorrect. Botterill saying that Brendan Dillon's cross checks and Kaprizov were a hockey play, and there's nothing wrong with that, is completely false. Kaprizov um, hit Dillon in a clean hit and embarrassed the shit out of him, having Kaprizov hit him that hard. So Dillon went and retaliated, cross-checked Kaprizov in the back, obviously hit some padding, so wasn't able to accomplish his goal. So he went up higher and hit him again in a place that didn't have any padding, and he accomplished his goal in hurting Kaprizov. In the NHL that we have today, the NHL does not stand up for their players, and they don't stand up for their star players, and they allow what Brendan Dillon did to happen. Because of that, in the next game, Hartman high sticked Perfetti in the face and told him that it was because of what happened against Kaprizov. Hartman should not have done that, but Dillon should not have cross-checked Kaprizov either. If the NHL would stand up for their star players and would stand up in the Department of Player Safety, would stand up for the safety of their players, then most likely Dillon cross-checks, dirty cross-checks, in my opinion, would not have happened, and Hartman would never have had to high stick Perfetti. I do believe that obviously Perfetti might not have been the right choice, but I do agree with the two guys in the panel that action was necessary. Because if Minnesota, like last year, did absolutely nothing when Kaprizov got hurt, then the Jets and other teams around the league will feel it's okay to come and continue to hurt the Wild Star players. So Hartman, what he did was, in a way, sending a message to the league, telling them you cannot come in here and hurt the Wild Star player and get off scot-free. So that's my thoughts. I know people are going to love Jennifer Botterill here and what she had to say. And yes, she's partly right, but she's completely dead wrong on the fact that the cross checks were legal, because they were not. They were intent to injure, because he got embarrassed because Kaprizov hit him. And that's my thoughts there on that. We'll jump into the chat. Dun, 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 dun. Swiss Durkin was hungover, like me now. Oh, nice. He is in net tonight too. Yay. There we go. Dard will shine at SMG. We'll see. Wild are a dirty team. Incorrect. I mean, the Wild are wild. It's in their name, Tim. There you go. Hartman should have fought instead of a cheap shot on the faceoff. That was a bitch move by Hartman. I completely disagree. Fights happen all the time in the NHL. All the time. And if a fight is all that needs to happen when a star player gets hurt, then that's not sending a message at all, because those fights happen pretty much every game. There's a fight. And there was a fight with Brendan Dillon after the fact, but that still doesn't send a message to other players in the NHL, which is what Hartman needed to do, and he did. I have no opinion. I'm still trying to wake up. There you go. Both players should have been suspended for cheap shots. Yes. If the NHL took it seriously, took the health of their players seriously, then most likely nobody gets hit. Like nobody gets injured and nobody gets dirty hits against them. I really like the Canucks tonight, which we'll get to here shortly. Also, you keep saying star player instead of superstar player for Krill. And yes, he is a superstar player, but I don't feel the need to say super Nick, but there you go. We'll leave that as it is, and we'll move on. And we will jump into today's NHL slate. We've got 13 games to go over here, and we will start with the first one here, which is between the Chicago Blackhawks and the New York Rangers here in this one. Chicago plus 310 to plus 349. New York Rangers minus 375 to minus 425. 6s and 6.5s available in this one. Quickly back to the chat here. Hartman should get the longer suspension, though, for the retaliation. No, Hartman was not suspended. Brendan Dillon didn't even get a penalty. So, like I said, the NHL doesn't care about the health of their players. But that's all I'll say on the subject. Going back to this game here, the Rangers minus 425. They're huge home favorites here. The Rangers have won 6 of their last 9 games. The Blackhawks have lost 9 of their last 11 games. The Rangers 4-1 in the last 5 meetings between the teams, covering the puck line in 3 of the 5 wins. 5 of the last 6 meetings went over 6.5 here. We have Peter Mrazek likely for the Blackhawks. Igor Shesterkin confirmed for the New York Rangers here in this one. And no single plays here for me. I know a lot of people will look at this game and they'll say, you have to bet the Blackhawks because of the price. They're plus 350, plus 310 to plus 350. So some people will say that you have to bet the Blackhawks because of that price. I'm not going to say that because I don't think the Blackhawks win this game. The Rangers just got beat 6-1 on home ice, and now they get to face this Blackhawks team. I think the Rangers come out pissed and absolutely take it to the Blackhawks, and I think this could be a 7-1, 8-2 type of game. I really do think we get a big performance from the Rangers. However, I do not want to have to lock in minus 2.5, and I can't take minus 1.5 because it's at minus 150, which is not in my price range. So overall, no single plays for me in this game. Looking at player props here, Bedard has a point in 6 of his last 8 games. Artemi Panarin has a goal in 4 of his last 5. Mika Zibanejad has a point in 10 of his last 11 games. And Chris Kreider has a point in 7 straight games for the Rangers. Those are the players I'd be looking at for points tonight in this game. And I do lean with the over. I do think we get a higher scoring game in this one. Blackhawks money line. All right. Rangers minus 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, plus 120, plus 330, plus 545. I agree, Tim. I'm obviously not going that way as big as you there, but I agree that's the right side. I wanted Hawks, but after the embarrassing loss, took Rangers double result plus 106, first period minus a half and full game money line. Wow. Nick is not on the Blackhawks. That absolutely shocks me. Absolutely shocks me. Rangers, because I would have thought for sure he'd be on the Hawks. Rangers come out pissed. I really think so. After getting embarrassed 6-1 on home ice, and now you get to face this team, which is a very beatable team. They should definitely come out pissed. I wanted Hawks before the Rags got shelled by the Canes. I agree. And this is coming from a Rangers hater. There you go. I'm not going to flip flop. All right. Zibanejad over 1.5 points. Panarin over 1.5 points. I agree. I think both have big nights. Watch Hawks win in regulation. Based on how the NHL has been this year, it wouldn't surprise me. And that's why I'm not backing the Rangers as a side here. I will take player props and I will have Rangers team total over 3.5 in a parlay. That's how I'll back the Rangers, by taking their team total on this one. Rangers finally come out fired up. Breadman versus former team too. Yes. And that's something I was looking at. I almost pulled the trigger on Panarin goal. But I'll just stick with a point in a parlay because a lot of the times when I take someone to get a goal, he goes and gets 3 assists. So I'll just stick with the point parlays. Rangers team total. I agree. Rangers minus 1.5. And then Owen says, scratch that, Rangers minus 2.5. Yeah, minus 1.5 is pricey at minus 150 for sure. Chicago road goal in first 10 is 13-2 in the last 15 games. Wow, I like it. I do like goals. Adam Fox over 1.5 points. I like that. Owen has revealed my trap card. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Ice, but feel free to tell us what your trap card is. But we'll move. Or are you saying that the Rangers -2.5 is a trap? Is that what you're saying? Let us know. But moving on along to our second game here, we have the Columbus Blue Jackets heading to Philadelphia to face the Flyers. Looking for goaltenders here. Dun, 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 dun. And Danil Tarasov will be in net here for Columbus. Carter Hart, unconfirmed for Philadelphia. And looking at this game, neither of these two teams are coming in playing all that well. Columbus 1, 2, and 3 in their last 6. So 1 win, 2 overtime regulation losses, 3 overtime losses. Philadelphia 1, 3, and 2. So 1 win, 3 regulation losses, and 2 overtime losses. Columbus trending towards the under, Philadelphia trending towards the over. Both teams have gone to overtime recently. Columbus in 4 of their last 6 games, Philadelphia in 2 of their last 4. So the draw could be a good look here. Looking at previous meetings between the teams, the Flyers have won the last 4, covering the puck line in 3 of the 4, so they haven't really been close. And 5 of the last 6 meetings have gone over 6.5. So we've seen a lot of goals when these teams have faced each other in the past. And for me, again, no single plays here. Neither of these teams are teams that I really want to back. Obviously, the Flyers at -200 is not happening. Columbus, yes, they're a nice plus price, but do I trust them to win? No. Lean with the over 6 here, but again, this is one that I'm going to be looking at more for player props here. Adam Fantilli, Justin Danforth, both have points in 4 of their last 5. Obviously, both didn't have a point in their last game, but Philadelphia has been involved in higher scoring games and have been giving up obviously more goals than Boston has. So I like that. And for the Flyers, Travis Konechny has a point in 7 of his last 8. I really do like that as a parlay piece. Konechny to get a point against this Columbus defense and Columbus goaltending. He definitely should get a point. Columbus money line. Columbus money line. Flyers money line and a parlay. Columbus money line and draw. My kitty meowed Columbus. All right, so yeah, that just reminds me of that commercial. I don't know if it's on in America, but in Canada it is, where the guy's talking about his system and what his system is, and then it has a cat with home and away, and the cat chooses which one. So hopefully that's not what you're doing, I6. But Philly first game after West Coast trip versus Torts former team. Columbus can score and can't defend. Yes, Philly is off the long road trip as well. This is supposed to be a bounce back spot for Philly, but yeah, but Terra save is elite. Not really, not really. Flyers have the better defense. Yes, but that's not saying much because Columbus's defense is awful. So, not saying too much there. I have the draw here too in Philly. I could see it. I could see it. Haha, Terry. Yeah. And yeah, I probably should add the draw here in this one, but I haven't at this point. Moving along to our next game, talking about draws. We have Pittsburgh Penguins +120 to +135. Boston Bruins -145 to -150. Sixes right across the board here in this game. Looking at goaltenders for this one, Alex Nedeljkovic confirmed for Pittsburgh. Nobody confirmed for Boston as of yet. Pittsburgh comes into this game 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. Playing much better recently. 3 of their last 5 games have gone over 6.5. The Bruins, after a bit of a cold stretch there, they've won 4 games in a row, covering the puck line in all 4 games. 4 of their last 6 have gone under 6.5. Boston, went 3-0 against Pittsburgh last year. 6 of the last 8 meetings between the teams have gone under 6.5. And Pittsburgh has covered plus 1.5 in the last 6 meetings against Boston. So even though Boston has won the last 3 meetings, none of them have been by multiple goals. They've all been close games. And Boston has won 4 games in a row, all in the puck line. I think that ends here in this one. I think this game goes to overtime. Who wins in the battle of the gold and white? I'm not sure. Probably Boston, but I'll take the draw here and hope that we get a close overtime game in this one. Pens and Bees draw, obviously. There you go. There you go. Pens plus 130. Wow, Nick taking the Penguins. Interesting. Bedardi, anytime goal. Don't make me throw up on the live stream. No, I'm kidding. Bruins smash. All right. Pasternak over 1.5 points. Bruins money line. Pens win in OT. Sounds good to me. Pasta over 5 shots on goal. All right. This is a game 1 of 3 that I can't root for my bet, though, because Nick put the other side on the site. There you go. There you go. Terry just slapped some knowledge on you. Yeah, Tim. Both Pittsburgh and Boston have top-notch penalty kills. Could be plus money on both teams to score a power play goal. All right. Right. Looking at player props in this one. Jake Gensel, Sidney Crosby both have points in 5 of their last 7 games. Evgeny Malkin has a point in 8 of his last 11. Pasternak has a point in 4 of his last 5. At least 3 shots on goal in 10 of his last 12 games. And Marchand and McAvoy both have assists in 4 of their last 5 games. Not sure how much props I'll be betting in this game, because I do think it's going to be a lower scoring game here in this one. Pittsburgh is a shot on goal machine. There you go. There you go. And Crosby can't be kept off the sheet. He has obviously at times, but yeah, for the most part, it's hard to keep him off the score sheet for sure. Moving on along to our next game, and finally, I do have single play here in this one aside. We're coming into some of my plays now here. Buffalo Sabres and the Montreal Canadiens. Buffalo Sabres minus 130 to minus 135 road favorites. Montreal plus 115 to plus 126 home dogs, 6.5s right across the board here in this game. Looking at previous games for these teams, Buffalo 2-4-1 in their last 7, so 2 wins in their last 7 games. They've gone under 6.5 in 3 straight games. Montreal 4-3-1 in their last 8. They've gone over 6.5 in 7 of their last 9 games. Looking at previous history between these teams, Montreal 5-1 in the last 6 games. Buffalo cash plus 1.5 though in 4 of the last 5. So we've seen closer games when these teams face each other. 4 of the last 6 meetings went under 6.5, and 2 of the last 3 meetings went to overtime. So we have seen, as I said, close, lower scoring games when these teams face each other, with Montreal finishing on top here. Montreal is off a long road trip. However, for me, having the Christmas break in the middle of the road trip, I think really negates some of the first game home after a long road trip angle, because they've already kind of been home for that Christmas break and then had a few games back on the road, and now they're back home. So I don't think that's necessarily going to affect Montreal that much here. Give me the home dogs that have dominated. Well, I shouldn't say dominated, but they've found ways to beat Buffalo in 5 of the last 6 games they've faced each other. So I'll take the Canadiens here on the money line as a home dog. We do have goalies for both teams here in this one. Jake Allen confirmed for Montreal, and Devin Levi confirmed for Buffalo. Overall, pretty similar numbers. Jake Allen's got a bit of a better save percentage. And Devin Levi coming to his home province to start here against Montreal. And I think he gets lit up. in his home province. I don't think it's a great game for him. So give me the Canadiens here on the money line. Think the Rat and Crosby both score? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I like both for points. I do think both get on the point sheet. Sabres -1.5. Completely disagree. Wrong team favored. Habs +115 for me. I completely agree. Game 2, Nick is taking the free money with the Habs. Tim likes Buffalo? Shocking. Shocking. I lean Habs money line in the draw, but since Habs result goes the opposite of what I take with them, so I took Sabres puck line. All right. All right. Tim Earl, stop with the fandom. Not every bet against Buffalo is free money. Agree. Agree. If Devin Levi's confirmed, which he is, give me Montreal at home. Team total over 3 for even money, please and thank you. There you go. He is confirmed. Major pass. All right. Nothing wrong with passing. Nick, I don't blame you. Montreal is a team higher in the standings at home and plus money. What could possibly go wrong? Levi's confirmed along with Jake Allen. Yes, both goals confirmed. Tim Earl, he took the better team, of course. Wink, wink. There you go. There you go. But move on to the 5th game of the night. Battle of 2 Central Division teams. Got the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars. Colorado +110 to +115. Dallas -126 to -130. 6.5s right across the board here in this game. Let me check on confirmed goaltenders here. Nobody. Nobody confirmed. Georgiev unconfirmed. Wedgwood unconfirmed. Both expected to start here in this game, and very, very similar numbers. 2.9 goals against average for Georgiev, 3 goals against average for Wedgwood, 0.896 save percentage for Georgiev, and 0.900 save percentage for Wedgwood. Here in this one, both teams playing really well coming into this game. The Avalanche 5-0-1 in their last 6. They've gone over 6.5 in 3 of their last 6 games. Dallas comes in 7-2-1 in their last 10. They've gone over 6.5 in 11 of their last 13 games. The Stars team has been an over machine. Looking at previous meetings between the teams, the last 3 games have all gone over. And Colorado's 4-1 in the last 5 meetings between the teams, covering the puck line in 3 of 4. So they haven't really been close when these two teams face each other. And I'm taking the Avalanche +115 here. You're not going to find the Avalanche as dogs very often, especially against a team that they've done really well against. So I'll take the Avs here on the road in this one. Looking at player props here. I forgot to mention player props for the last game, the Buffalo game. Props I like for this game. Makar, at least 4 shots in goal, 5 of his last 6 games, 6 of his last 8. Valerie Nichushkin to get a point in 10 of his last 11 games. He's been finding the score sheet. Nathan McKinnon to get an assist in 14 of his last 16 games. And then Robertson, Pavelski, and Hintz all to get points. Robertson, 6 of his last 7. Hintz, 6 of his last 7. Pavelski, 5 of his last 7. Going back to this game, a quick rewind. For the Buffalo Sabres, Rasmus Dahlin, at least 3 shots on goal in 14 of his last 15 games. So I definitely like Dahlin to get 3 shots. Casey Middlestat to get a point in 5 of his last 6 games. And for Montreal, Nick Suzuki, 0.8 of his last 9. Cole Caulfield, a point in 7 of his last 8. And Mike Matheson, a point in 6 of his last 7. Those are the players I target for that game. And I already talked about this game. Jump back into the chat. Tommy T, I like that Montreal team total. I do too. Wrong team favorite again. Avs +110 and the draw. Me and Nick are green today. Wow. Would have taken the Stars -1.5, but no play. There you go. Avs money line and over 6.6. Nice, Tim. Nice total there. Robertson goal, McKinnon over 1.5 points, Rantanen over 1.5 points. I like it. I like it. I like it. Both goalies cannot keep the puck out of the net. Over 6.5 plus 100. And I really do like the over as well, but I'm trying to cut down my volume of plays a little bit. So I haven't pulled the trigger on the over yet, but I really do like it. I do. I might have to make a play later. Captain Bry also likes the over. Yeah, it's kind of hard not to. Just kidding. I like the first period over. That could definitely be a good look. Makar on a bleeping tear. Heck yeah, he's been, especially on shots on goal lately, he's been great. Not so much the last game, but the previous 5 before that he was. Robert leans with the Stars. All right. Last game, Dallas was looking ahead to this divisional matchup. This is Dallas all day. All right. We'll see. Owen likes Avs and Reg. Um, that's nice plus money, definitely. But I would just take the Avs and money line at plus 115 because if these teams went to overtime, that would just be a heartbreaker. A heartbreaker. First period over, but too much juice. Maybe a parlay piece for that one. I looked over that. We'll move on along to our next game here. Just between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Minnesota Wild. Tampa Bay minus 127 to minus 135. Minnesota plus 110 to plus 115. Sixes right across the board here in this game. Confirmed goaltenders here. I believe we don't have any yet. Marc-Andre Fleury likely, which really shouldn't surprise anybody. Andre Vasilevsky unconfirmed. Most likely will be a net for this one as well. Looking at how these teams have played recently, the Wild have lost 3 straight games now, back-to-back games against Winnipeg, and then their last game against Calgary, where the Wild kept it close against Calgary, but unfortunately were not able to get the win there. The Wild 7-2 in their last 9 at home. Tampa Bay 3-7 in their last 10 on the road. Overall, just not playing great hockey on the road this season. Both teams have gone under 6.5 in 4 of their last 5 games. Both teams trending towards the under. The Wild 7-1-1 in the last 9 meetings between the teams. The Wild have also won 10 in a row between these teams in Minnesota. They've absolutely dominated the Lightning in Minnesota for years now. As a total of 6, 1 over, 1 under, 3 pushes in the last 5 meetings here. And no single plays here for me in this one either. Obviously, I'm not taking Tampa Bay minus 130 on the road. As we all know, I don't fade Minnesota. I will pass on them like I am today, but I won't fade them. The Wild have absolutely dominated Tampa Bay in Minnesota. That was with better Tampa Bay teams, but that was also with teams that were not as injured as Minnesota is. I'm not taking Tampa, but I'm not taking Minnesota either. The Wild are just beat up. They are absolutely beat up. However, injured teams do find ways to win games. This could be a good game for the Wild to win. They are plus money at home against a team they've dominated, but I can't recommend people to put their money on the Wild right now with how injured they are. So, from a side or total perspective, this game's a pass. Of course, both teams leaning toward the under right now. The Wild's offense, like I said, has been inexistent the last few games. Looking at player props, Nikita Kucherov has a goal in 6 of his last 7 games. He's on a goal streak. At least 3 shots on goal in 8 of his last 9. Victor Hedman has an assist in 7 of his last 8 games for Tampa Bay. And the prop that keeps cashing, Joel Eriksson has at least 3 shots on goal in 6 of his last 7 games and 18 of his last 20. So that's how I'll back the Wild tonight, is by taking Joel Eriksson to get 3 shots in some parlays. Other than that, that's a game that I have to pass. Minus 128 at FanDuel. So not too horrible. Not too bad. Super fucking pass. LOL. Wanted Wild again. There you go. No comment because Tim is on Tampa Bay, probably on the puck line. Over 6. The more I look at it, the more I look at it. Wild win this game, but don't want to take this banged up Wild team. Obviously, I hope you're right, but I'm gonna take the over here because I feel if the Wild do win this game, it's 2-1. If they win this game, it's a close game that the Wild squeak out a win. Um, I don't really see a lot of goals. I don't. Thank you. Tampa missing Cernak, and they're also missing Sergachev. So they have defensive struggles big time. This is a spot for Tampa to bounce back, but the money line is slowly falling and not holding. Even though Tampa lost, they looked pretty good against the Jets. All right. All right. If I find one or two more plays, you'll be adding Stars puck line and Wild money line. There you go. Robert likes Tampa on the puck line. All right. Give me the gift a goal in first 10 in Minnesota. All right. This is the spot for Tampa, but what the fuck is this line? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Tampa and the under. Yeah, probably, probably. It's a tough time for the Wild right now. But when they get healthy, watch out, watch out. But going along to our next game here, Vancouver Canucks and St. Louis Blues. Vancouver minus 135 to minus 145. St. Louis plus 120 to plus 120, or plus 114 to plus 124. 6.5s right across the board here. This game, we will see if we have any goalie information here. Jordan Bennington is confirmed for St. Louis, 11, 11, and 1, 3.23 goals against average, 900 save percentage. Nobody confirmed for Vancouver. Should be Thatcher Demko in this one. Tampa doesn't play tomorrow, or Vancouver doesn't play tomorrow. So yeah, it should be Demko. Looking at these teams have faced, or how they've played recently. Vancouver 8-1-2 in their last 11 games, continuing to play great hockey this season. They've gone over 6.5 in 5 of their last 6 games. St. Louis 4-1 in their last 5 games at home. They played really great hockey at home this year, the Blues. They've gone under 6.5 in 4 of their last 5. Looking at previous meetings between these teams, St. Louis 5-1-1 in the last 7 meetings. They've had a lot of success against Vancouver. Of course, that was with better St. Louis teams and worse Vancouver teams. However, Vancouver's covered the plus 1.5 in 4 of the last 5. So they've been closer games when these teams face each other. 5 of the last 7 have gone under 6.5 between these teams. And another game where I have no single plays here. Vancouver around minus 135 in some spots, so right around my cutoff point. I don't like their history against St. Louis. I don't like how good St. Louis has been on home ice this year, and I don't like that the Canucks' next game is against the New Jersey Devils. So of course we'll have the Hughes Bowl again. Hughes versus Hughes against Hughes on Saturday. I'm not going to say it's a look ahead game, but maybe for Quinn Hughes it could be. But regardless of that, a player I'm taking in today's game is Quinn Hughes to get an assist, or he can go with a point. He's got an assist in 5 straight games for the Canucks. He's heating up recently. Robert Thomas has a point in 4 of his last 5 games for the Blues, and Pavel Buchnevich has at least 3 shots on goal in 6 straight games and 11 of his last 13. Hasn't been scoring, but he's been shooting a lot. So I'll take him to get some shots here, and I'll take Thomas to get a point, Hughes assist or point, whatever you want in a parlay. Even though I think Hughes might be obviously Looking to Saturday when he faces his brothers, I still think he can get a point here in this game. Bum, 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 bum. Sergachev is addition by subtraction. Hmm, interesting. I really, really wanted the Blues. I don't know why I hate the Canucks. All right. Canucks puck line. All right. Two of my favorite teams to bet: Lean Blues as home dog, under 6.5. For you though, I won't say that last three words because they are garbage. St. Louis better at home for sure, for sure. I like the first period over in this game. Yeah, Canucks have been an over team. Blues have been an under team. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Besser over 1.5 points and goal. JT Miller over 1.5 points. Hughes over 1.5 points. Pedersen over 1.5 points. All right. So Robert likes goals from the Canucks. He also likes Canucks money line. All right. Great price for a Vancouver team. Yes, they are the better team for sure. Truly staying away from this game. I found another play though. All right. Binner, Thomas, and Buchnevich show up. All right. I hope you're right, and Thomas and Buchnevich show up because I have their props. So sounds good to me. Move on along to our next game here, which is between the Calgary Flames and the Nashville Predators. Calgary plus 100 to plus 105. Nashville minus 112 to minus 120. Sixes right across the board here in this game. Let's see if we have goalies here for this one. UC Saros likely for Nashville. Nobody confirmed for Calgary, but most likely will be Jacob Markstrom. The Flames come into this game winning 5 of their last 7, playing better hockey as of late. They've gone under 6.5 in 6 of their last 8 games. The Predators 2-2-1 in their last 5. Of course, they had that really hot run. They've had a bit of a cold streak, but they've won back-to-back games here coming into this game. They've gone under 5.5 in 3 of their last 5. Looking at previous meetings between these teams, the Predators 8-1-1 in the last 10. For some reason, the Preds love to face the Flames for whatever reason. However, they don't really win those games by margin. 9 of the last 11 games, Calgary covered plus 1.5. Looking at a total, if the total was a 6, 3 unders, 2 pushes for a total of 6 here when these teams have faced each other in the past. And I'm taking the Preds. Money line minus 112. I think home ice helps the Preds here. I think the Preds' domination against the Flames in recent years, I think that continues here. The Flames, yes, they played better recently. But if you're impressed with a 3-1 win when there was an empty netter in their last game against Minnesota, Minnesota basically has an AHL team right now. So beating Minnesota is not an accomplishment whatsoever right now. Yes, this Flames team has been playing better, but I'm taking the Preds here in this one. They're just a team I trust more overall. Looking at player props for this one, Blake Coleman has a point in 10 of his last 12 for the Flames. Their leading point scorer. Who saw that coming? Blake Coleman being the Flames' leading point scorer. For the Nashville Predators, Nyquist point, 6 straight games. O'Reilly point, 4 of his last 5. Had both of them in parlays in their last game. Going right back to it here. Forsberg has at least 4 shots in goal in 4 of his last 6 games. Maybe I'd take him for 3 shots in goal in a parlay. But I like Riley and Nyquist both to get points better in this one. Give me the Preds in this game. LMAO. All right. Flames/Preds draw. Everyone was on the draw last time, but it ended in reg. So boom, this one goes to overtime. Potentially, these teams used to have a overtime history in the past. Flames plus 100. Wrong team is favored. Finally, me and Nick disagree. We disagree. Nyquist point minus 120. I like it. Hard not to like it. I like the Preds. Me too. Calgary will be shooting the puck tonight. Nashville goalie save prop is in play. All right. Draws in play or take the dog to cover. All right. Flames barely won against the whittled down Wild team. Exactly. It's nothing to be proud about, beating the Wild 3-1 right now. Found the last dog of the night, a painful dog. Ooh, interesting. Let's see if we agree. Goal in first 10 and not in Smashville. There you go. Minnesota has basically an AHL team right now. Okay, Terry, you convinced me. Tampa money line, all in. Well, never go all in sports betting, and definitely don't go all in fading the Wild. But that's just my opinion. Um, Tampa should win tonight with the rosters that we have. Um, Obviously, I hope they don't, but that is what it is. We will move on along to our next game here, which is between the New York Islanders and the Arizona Coyotes. Islanders minus 109 to minus 115. Arizona minus 105 to plus 100. Sixes right across the board here in this game. In net for Arizona, we have Connor Ingram confirmed. Overall, having a great season. Ilya Sorokin not confirmed for the New York Islanders. The Arizona alternating goalies again. Vejmelka got cold there for a bit. So Ingram got a bunch of starts in a row. Now they're starting to alternate goalies again, which means we're most likely going to get Vejmelka against Winnipeg in the next matchup. And obviously, there's history there. I'll discuss more on the next show. But for this one here, Islanders in Arizona. The Islanders coming into this game 3-3-3 in their last 9. So 3 wins, 3 regulation losses, 3 overtime losses. They've gone over 6.5 in 3 of their last 5. The Coyotes 6-2 in their last 8. They've gone over 6.5 in 3 of their last 6. Looking at previous meetings between these teams, Arizona 5-2 in the last 7 games played in Arizona. And looking at previous meetings between the teams in general, 11 of the last 14 have gone under 5.5. We've seen very, very low scoring games between these teams. However, that was with a very defensive, no offense Islanders team. And that was also with a Coyotes team that has been, I don't want to say talentless, but they've had a lot of issues over the last few years when it comes to talent and goal scoring. So that can make sense why the games have gone under. But both these teams going over recently, so can't get to the total here. And another interesting fact, for the last 5 meetings between these teams, the winner has won in a shutout. So we've seen the winning team win in a shutout. Will we see it tonight? I'm not sure. But give me the Coyotes here, plus 100 at home. They've played great hockey at home all season long. They've done well in Arizona against the Islanders, of course, with a much worse Arizona team. Give me the Yotes here to beat the Islanders. The way the Islanders play, this game probably does go to overtime. So I wouldn't talk anybody off the draw as well here in this one. Isles minus 1.5. Me and Isex always disagree. All right. Return to draw island. I could see it. I could. Under 5.5, plus 110. Wouldn't shock me with the past history, but Connor Ingram confirmed. I love it. Oh my God, my methods are coming to life. Former Nashville goalie loses minus 1.5, and Nashville wins in overtime. All right. Fun fact: no team has more points in the Eastern Conference since December 1st than the New York Islanders. Yeah, they're great at getting overtime points. If only they could find a way to actually win games more. And that's why this is something that I was mentioning to Nick. In the Professional Women's Hockey League, which I will be capping on their channel, I want to see a few more games first before I really get into it. There, you get 3 points for a regulation win, 2 points for an overtime or shootout win, 1 point for an overtime or shootout loss, and 0 points for a regulation loss. I like that they give the extra point to teams who win in regulation because I think it means more when you can win in regulation than when you can go to overtime and maybe get lucky or maybe not, which is the Islanders. Fun fact, who cares? I'm joking. LOL. There you go. Yotes money line. I like it. 0-0 regulation score. Probably very nice plus money on that. And if we look at what's happened in the past, it could definitely happen. FanDuel's pissing me off with not putting out women's hockey. They do. FanDuel does have it. Professional Women's Hockey League. They've actually had some goal scoring props too. But yep, they definitely do have it. IceX. Um, I've seen it on FanDuel. 2-1, 2-1 and 0, 3-2, 1 and 0. I guess I see what you're saying, but I don't know. We'll agree to disagree. We'll agree to disagree, Nick, which is what always happens. But moving on along to our next game, and it's my favorite game of the night. We have the Ottawa Senators plus 105 to plus 110 against the Seattle Kraken minus 117 to minus 130. 6.5s right across the board here in this game. And when lines were first being given out yesterday, when they first came out, they usually come out at, like, I don't want to say no name books, but odds come out for some of the lesser known books first. And then obviously the bigger books come out with their odds. And Seattle was around minus 170 in some of the books when the lines opened up right away. And I was looking at that and I was thinking, darn, because I really wanted to bet the Kraken in this game. And of course, the lines have moved now to a much more reasonable price here. This is a matchup between two teams going in completely different directions here. Ottawa 3-8 in their last 11. Yeah, they won 3 of 4 games, and people started to think they're back, but then they got pummeled in their last game, right back down to earth. 7-0-3 to a total of 6. So we have seen higher scoring games for the Senators recently. The Kraken 7-0-2 in their last 9 games. 7 wins, no regulation losses, 2 overtime losses, 5 straight games under 5.5. The Kraken are playing a defensive style and are getting saves from Joey Daccord. The Senators are playing, I don't know what kind of style, but they're not getting saves and they're not playing defense in front of their goaltenders. Ottawa 3-2 all time against Seattle. Obviously, they've only faced each other 5 times, Seattle only being in the league this their third year. 3-1-1 to a total of 6. When it comes to a total here, I don't know because, like I said, the Senators can't stop a puck to save their life, but the Kraken are playing such great defensive style hockey and getting such good goaltending right now that it's kind of a toss-up to see who kind of dictates the pace here in this one. I don't believe we have any confirmed goaltenders here. Ilya Sorokin is now confirmed for the Islanders in our last game. But looking at this game, nobody's confirmed. Should be Korpisalo against Daccord. And of course, there's huge goaltending advantage with Joey Daccord. Give me the Kraken right now. This team is hot. And I'm definitely not stepping in front of them. Looking at player props. I forgot player props for our last game again. I'll quickly jump back to that one. So player props for this one for the Islanders, nobody right now is really on that good of a streak for me to take them. For the Coyotes, Alexander Kerfoot has a point in 6 of his last 7. Lawson Krause has a point in 4 of his last 5. Going back to this game on player props for the Senators, Brady Tkachuk to get at least 3 shots in goal. He's done that in 10 of his last 11 games. Drake Batherson to get a point. He's done that in 13 of his last 16 games. But my favorite prop here is Vince Dunn to get a point. He's done that in 4 straight games and 7 of his last 9. Overall, the Kraken are a tough team when it comes to player props because they don't really score a lot. But obviously with the defense and goaltending that they're getting, you don't have to score a lot. And their scoring is kind of spread out around the lineup. So they're a tough team when it comes to props. But Vince Dunn, he's been consistent, so I'll take him here. This one. Wait, what? Not for me. What the hell? I'll send you a screenshot. It's in the hockey section. PWHL, it says. Sends money line. We disagree again, as always. Ottawa road goal in first 10 minutes, 13-0. All right. All right. I really like, Addison, that you like the road goal in first 10 minutes and goal in first 5 minutes, because that's not something I look at. So I appreciate you coming in here and showing the stats, because obviously there's a lot of people that do like to bet that. So I appreciate you um, bringing those stats in the chat. Release the Kraken. Yep. Release the Kraken. Well, they've already been released and lately. Sens and Kraken under 6.5, and Sens team total under 2.5, plus 120. I like it. I like it. Drugs are bad. Okay, no crack. Yeah, well, crack for me today. That's for sure. Lots of crack. Moving on along to our next game here, which is between the Florida Panthers and the Vegas Golden Knights. Florida minus 107 to minus 115. Vegas minus 103 to minus 105. Sixes right across the board here in this game. Sergei Bobrovsky unconfirmed for Florida. Logan Thompson unconfirmed for Vegas. Both most likely should start here in this one. Looking at how these teams have played recently, Florida, 5 wins in a row, playing pretty good teams for most of that stretch as well. They've gone under 6.5 in 9 of their last 10 games. So Florida's been playing lower scoring hockey. Vegas, 1-5 in their last 6 games. Just not playing well at all right now. They've gone under 5.5 in 2 straight games. Looking at previous meetings between these teams, obviously they just faced each other in the Stanley Cup final last year. But since Vegas has entered the league, this has been an extreme home series with the home team doing well, but especially in Vegas. Florida's never won in Vegas. Vegas is 8-0 all time, but not just that. 7 of the 8 wins they won by multiple goals. So Vegas has taken care of Florida whenever they faced in Vegas. What is Florida doing when they go to Vegas? Are they focusing on the hockey game, or are they focusing on other stuff in Vegas that it's easy to focus on? I'm not sure. Over 6.5 in 7 of the 8 games. The only game that went under finished with 6 goals. So current play tells me to take Florida in the under. Previous history tells me to take Vegas by 2 in the over. So we're seeing completely different things looking at recent play and previous history. And while I do want to take Florida, I really do. I really do with how they've been playing recently. I can't. I have to pass here. It's 8 straight games, 7 of the 8 by multiple goals. It hasn't been close. So I have to pass here. But I can't blame anyone for taking Florida. And I couldn't blame people for taking Vegas either. This could be a spot to get right for Vegas. And in the NHL this year, we've seen everything point towards one team, like the Florida Panthers, and then have the complete opposite happening in the Vegas Golden Knights. So I'm not forcing a play here. This game's ultimately a pass. I do like player props, though. Carter Verhaeghe and Matthew Tkachuk both have points in 4 of their last 5 games for the Florida Panthers. Sam Reinhart has at least 3 shots on goal in 6 straight games for Florida, a point in 6 of his last 8. And Alexander Barkov has has an assist in 4 of his last 5 games. And nobody really stands out for Vegas right now with how they played recently. Obviously, Mark Stone was really hot. You could look at him. But overall, uh, Florida should win this game. Will they? We'll see. Laughing. Hey, I don't know. Obviously, I don't do crack, so nobody worry about that. But Florida in regulation. All right. Florida money line. All right. Appreciate your work, sir. Thank you, Addison. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Unpopular opinion. The Florida Panthers are the best team in hockey. Wow. All right. Reinhardt over 2.5 shots on goal, minus 120. Great price for that. Great price for that. Panthers money line. All right. I'm just following the playoff results. Flipped playoff results. All right. we'll see what happens. Two more games left. And here's a really interesting one. We have the Winnipeg Jets and the San Jose Sharks. I know I'm saying this game's interesting. Wow. Winnipeg minus 245 to minus 250. San Jose plus 200 to plus 217. Sixes, 5.5 available power play in this game. Looking at starting goalies, I don't believe we'll have any yet. Nope. It says Laurent Persois, most likely against Blackwood here in this game. I do believe that the Jets play tomorrow. They do in Anaheim. So, wow. Back to back in San Jose and then in Anaheim for the Winnipeg Jets. Obviously, Winnipeg, the big favorites here in this game. Looking at recent play for them, 11, 1, and 2 in their last 14 games. So one regulation loss in their last 14 games. Five of their last 5 games have all gone under 6.5. The Sharks have lost 9 games in a row, losing 8 straight by multiple goals. They've got absolutely beat up lately. 3 of the last 4 games have gone under 6.5. And looking at Winnipeg's record, as I said, they've won regulation loss in their last 14 games. Who was that regulation loss against? This San Jose Sharks team. For whatever reason, the Sharks 6-2 in the last 8 games against Winnipeg. They played Winnipeg tough. They played really well against Winnipeg. Sharks haven't been winning by multiple goals though. Winnipeg plus 1.5. They covered in 7 of the 8 games, and 5 of the last 6 have gone under 5.5. So usually we see really low scoring games here with San Jose finding a way to win. No, I'm not taking the Sharks, but I'm suggesting that this might be a game you want to hold off on the Jets. Just because for whatever reason they struggle with the Sharks. Maybe they overlook the Sharks. I don't know. But on the other side, maybe they look at their regulation loss against the Sharks and maybe they come here motivated. And if they come here really motivated, they could absolutely pummel the Sharks. So no side, no total play here for me. Looking at player props, Nikolai Ehlers, at least 3 shots on goal in 10 of his last 11 games. He's been consistent in getting at least 3 shots on goal. And Cole Perfetti, who we talked about earlier in the show, has a point in 5 of his last 7 games. So overall, playing pretty well for the Jets. And I have nobody for the Sharks, which shouldn't really surprise anybody. The fact that they've lost 8 straight by multiple goals. They don't score a lot of goals. So, yeah, pass here. Pass for IceX. Pass for Nick. San Jose team total under half unit and on Winnipeg puck line. All right. Bet the under 6.5 earlier, minus 122 at FanDuel. I like that. No play on this side, but I think the Jets cover the puck line advantage spot. They should. They absolutely should. They should. Sharks money line? No, I can't. I just can't pull the trigger on it. Yeah, just stay away. I think it's better to stay away. Do the Sharks win back-to-back games against the Jets? I can't see it, but we'll have to see. San Jose team total under 2.5, says Addison. All right, awesome. And we'll go along to the final game of the night, which is between Detroit Red Wings and the LA Kings. Detroit plus 155 to plus 164. LA minus 180 to minus 198. 6s and 6.5s available here in this game. Goaltenders, Alex Lyon confirmed for Detroit. Nobody confirmed for Cam Talbot in this game. Looking at how these teams have been doing recently. Detroit 3-7 in their last 10. So they've lost 7 of their last 10 games. LA 3-5-2 in their last 10. So they've also lost 7 of their last 10 games. Detroit going over 6.5 in 7 of their last 8. LA going under 6.5 in 7 of their last 8. So both teams different, going different directions when it comes to the total. Both teams struggling to win right now. Looking at previous history, the Kings 9-1 in the last 10 meetings between the teams. Detroit has covered +1.5 in 4 of the last 7. And the last 3 meetings have all been high scoring, going over 6.5 here. And again, a game where I can't get to a single play here. I'm not taking the Kings at minus. Obviously, I want to take the Kings at minus 180. It would either have to be a parlay piece or I would have to look at them in regulation. But I don't like the way the Kings have been playing recently. Then again, this Detroit team has a hard time stopping the puck. So I don't really want to back them either against this defensive Kings team. Player props, JT Confer point has 1 in 5 of his last 6. Patrick Kane point has 1 in 6 of his last 8. At least 3 shots on goal in 5 of his last 6 games. So he's been shooting the puck for the Red Wings. DeBrincat has an assist in 5 of his last 6 games. He's got 3 shots on goal in 6 of his last 8, 10 of his last 13. And for the Kings, Adrian Kempe has a point in 4 of his last 5, at least 3 shots on goal in 4 of his last 6. And Kopitar has a point in 7 of his last 10. Those are the players I would look at for this game. Jump into the chat here. Give me happiness or give me Red Wings money line. There you go. That's my last dog. I'll place those 4 plays later on. Best of luck. Can't see an angle, so you're going to pass. Nick says go under. Robert says go over. Plus 100 for the over. All right. Because I do like player props in this game, I obviously want to see goals. So best of luck, Robert, with the over. That's today's show. Thank you everyone for watching. 50 live viewers right now. Thank you everyone a lot. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Much appreciated, guys. And we'll see you again for other episodes. Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. Free NHL picks. Best of luck today, everyone. Have a good one, guys.